Alright, and that's all the harvesting done, guys. So I picked a few more white Adriatics. Basically the purpose of today's video is if I can inspire one person, just one person, to plant a fruit tree, even if it's only one, even if it's in a pot, then for me it's mission accomplished. Assalamu alaikum, guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more gardening videos and delicious recipes. And just a favor to ask from our subscribers, if you do watch any of the videos, can you please just hit that like button if you don't mind, please. It just encourages us, it'll encourage us to make more videos in the future. Okay, so today I was requested by a friend. Well, actually he didn't request. Let's just call it a gift, a sample gift. I'm gonna harvest a bit of a sample from my food forest, from my orchard, backyard orchard. Let me just pull this weed out. So I'm just gonna harvest like basically an assortment of fruits, well, whatever's in season at the moment, and gift it to him. Just a bit of everything. I think they would like that. The persimmons are coming in next after the figs. Basically, you got persimmons and the pomegranates, and then after that, the citrus will kick in their gears right through winter and to the end of winter. Basically, some will even see us towards spring. Some varieties. But anyway, okay, so let's start. I thought I'll grab a pomegranates first, because I want to put that at the bottom of the parcel or the tray, because the pomegranates are hard. Obviously, I don't want to put the figs on the bottom, that's for sure. They'll end up squashing, you know. Even though I like squashed figs, but not as a gift. Okay, so there's a beautiful pomegranate there. Let me just cut it, give me a sec. And there she is, guys. I mean, pomegranates, usually I like to leave them for another, what are we in now, in start of March? Yeah, about a month roughly. They will be usually perfectly ripened on the tree. But they're still good to eat now. You know, this is a bit more advanced, this particular one, more so than its siblings. So this one will be beautiful, actually. And this particular variety is Azerbaijani. Azerbaijani variety. It's one of the prettiest looking pomegranates. As you can see, they have like a ruby red colored fruit straight off the bat from the get-go. As soon as they set fruit, they pretty much start off red and continue all the way through. They have a long sort of flower sort of head. It's a bit evident on it, and it's a pretty looking fig. It's large as well, and for me they're extremely productive, actually. The Azerbaijanis. But the only sort of downside to them, there's always a negative in everything, I suppose, is that they're very susceptible. They're basically fruit fly magnets, these things. You know, I always lose a bunch of them. Even this one, you can see I've bagged it, but it got hit somehow. They get in. You know, or not just, you know, it's not always necessarily fruit flies. They're just very susceptible to just the rot and sort of fungal diseases as well. They're very sensitive, basically, is the word I'm looking for. Very sensitive to everything around them. Sensitive to the weather, to after the pests, insects. And since I don't really spray much, I do spray with organic sort of sprays from time to time. But yeah, it's you know, I still lose some of them. You know, not all of them. I mean, you know, there's still more than enough on it, but they are, compared to some other varieties that I have, which are basically bulletproof. This one here, although it's highly productive, beautiful, it's the interior, the interior of this fruit, the actual berries, there's like basically almost black in color. That's how dark they are, and they just look amazing. I'll open one up inshallah soon, not just yet, because I'm fasting. If I open something I have to eat it. But yeah, maybe after Ramadan, in a few weeks. The first week of Ramadan is basically almost over, more or less. That's the 1 week gone, and there's a few 3 weeks left, and which is it would be perfect, right in time for the pomegranate season. They'll be perfectly ripened within 3 weeks or so. So maybe then I'll start opening some pomegranates, so we can sort of compare them to each other and see how they go. So basically this is yeah, the Azerbaijani. I would say in terms of taste, this is probably my number 2 after the what do you call it, the name escapes me now, the Russian variety. What is it? It's supposed to be the best tasting, Parfianka. The Parfianka, hands down, is the best tasting. It just balances everything perfectly. The acidity to sweetness to, and on top of it, the seed is very soft. It has a super soft seed, the Parfianka. So that's what makes it the winner in terms of tasting. So the flavor is one of the best, and it's super soft seeded. But again, it's for me so far, it's not the most productive. It's supposed to be productive, but for me, maybe my trees are still young anyway, the Parfianka. So I'm going to give it a couple more years. Maybe that'll just kicking, you know, put it in second gear and take off from there. But yeah, they're supposed to be one of the best, and they are actually. I've had them. Obviously, they're the best tasting in my opinion. But not the most productive yet, and they are also susceptible to the weather and insects and things like that because of the skin. They have a very soft skin, just like the Azerbaijani. They have a very soft skin. You know what? Actually, I'll reserve I'll make an exclusive, basically an exclusive pomegranate video, and otherwise this video is gonna drag on. And I'm sure you have better things to do with your lives, and you know, I don't want to sort of drag it on. You know, I'll just keep the pomegranate details to the pomegranate video. But just briefly, basically, it's Azerbaijani, excellent variety, excellent tasting variety. So I'm just going to grab that and put it in my little container. I'm going to put maybe a couple of pomegranates. And then maybe a couple of mangoes, and then maybe we'll hit the figs. What do you reckon? I reckon that's good enough. I wouldn't complain if someone gave me that as a gift. And the white Adriatic still going hard, even at the end of the season. This is autumn, basically. That's the end, basically the end of the last sort of stretch of fig season. It's the end of the season for the figs. You can see a lot of it have, you know, they've been hit by the weather and then the rain and things like that. And, you know, there's a lot of defoliation on the ground from just fungal diseases and so on. But we had an awesome, amazing fig harvest this year. It was an amazing fig season. So alhamdulillah, I can't complain. You know, that's one of the best seasons I've had, actually. We had so much figs, we literally didn't know what to do with it. But yeah, again, look, the white Adriatic still going hard. You know, after all the fruit we've been eating off it, it still looks like it hasn't been touched, it hasn't been picked. It's so productive, mashallah. And so is the Osborne prolific, or let's just call it the unknown for now. But I'm pretty sure it's an Osborne prolific. That's still going hard. Then look at it. I love the way it hangs. It's like a pear. Okay, let's put this in the container, and then we'll grab. Maybe I'll grab a wonderful. Yeah, I'll grab a wonderful. There's the wonderful here. Wonderful. Okay, or the Ben Hur. So this here, actually, you know what? Again, I'll leave it for the pomegranate video. I think there's a lot to talk about pomegranates, and there's a lot of people interested in pomegranates, me included. So we'll leave the pomegranate talk to the for a pomegranate video. Okay. What was I? Actually, no. I'll get it. I'll get a Middle Eastern one, a Lebanese type of pomegranates. They're my hardiest pomegranates. I will talk to them again in that other video. These things are literally bulletproof. No spraying required. No pampering. No babysitting. Nothing. They just take off on their own. They thrive on neglect. Nothing can penetrate them, not unless that fruit fly has a hilty drill or something to drill through it. That's how thick these things are. They're super thick skinned. Nothing can penetrate them, and they go amazing. They handle the weather sort of exceptionally well, and they do look sort of pretty towards the end when they ripen. Before they ripen, they just look green, so we just call them like green pomegranates. As you can see, this is a sort of a premature one. Yeah, as I was saying, so yeah, they're typically green when they're premature, when they're young, and just before they ripen up, so the last few weeks of their ripening stages, they turn into this. That's when they're, the ugly duckling turns into a swan, basically, almost literally. This thing, it's a very average looking pomegranate, a green, very basic, very sort of dull looking and boring. But the last few weeks of ripening, they just turn into this sort of beautiful looking, like a peach. Pretty much resembles a peach in terms of color. It's sort of a pale, creamy colored skin with speckles of pink all over it. It's actually very, very unique looking in terms of pomegranates, different than most other pomegranates. And yeah, it's just, you don't have to do anything to these things. No spraying, nothing can really penetrate it. I've never lost a pomegranate to anything, to insect or even to the weather or rot, or they're just like tanks, these things. They just take it and keep going, Excellent pomegranate, large. So this is like a medium size, this particular one, but they grow, especially the last couple of weeks of ripening, they really expand, similar to figs. They expand in size towards the end, and they can get extremely large, these things. Excellent sort of seed to flesh ratio, the actual berries. Excellent tasting, so basically it's got a good sweet to acidic balance, but if you let it ripen to its maximum potential on the tree, it becomes the ratio turns more sweet than sour. So if you basically, what I'm trying to say, it becomes the sweetness will overtake the tangy or the acidic notes. Basically, the ratio of sweetness to acidity will be in favor of the sweetness towards the end. So depending on how you like it, you can pick it at different stages for different flavors. But an excellent variety. I really recommend anyone and everyone who can grow a pomegranate to get one of these. Actually, they're hard to acquire. I'm just fortunate that I have this because I got it from my community, and you can't find them in like nurseries or anything like that. all you're going to find in nurseries is the Wonderful, which is an amazing, an amazing variety actually. The Wonderful, one of the best. Like if you had to plant one, I would say it's Wonderful because of its productivity, and then it does reasonably well against pests and diseases. Not as good as these, as good as the Middle Eastern, but reasonably well. But they're highly productive, consistent producers year after year. Okay, some apples. Let us pick some apples as well. It's supposed to be a sample video. I'm just bragging on about bloody pomegranates. I can't help it. What do you do? Anyway, so let's get some apples. So this is a three-way apple. I'm not this is the only apple tree that I have, and it's a three-way apple. So multi-grafted, 3 ways. It's got a Royal Gala. Let me try and get this out of the bag. It's got Royal Gala, Fuji, and Pink Lady. To me, Fuji is probably the best out of them, even though all three are amazing. They're all amazing apples. But if I had to choose one, it would be the Fuji. This is the Royal Gala. Very sweet and crisp apple. Excellent eating apple. Excellent for eating, actually. And the Fuji is just coming in now, so that's a Fuji. You can see how it looks. It's got that Fuji classic look. It's a bit squatty in shape, and sort of a smooth textured and dense. It feels heavier when you're holding it. And the back of it there is the Pink Lady. They seem to be the latest for me. I don't know why. Maybe because they're not getting much sun. The sun sort of hits them from this side here. So maybe because they're getting less sun. You can see these ones are very large, these two here. And because they're not getting much sun, they're heading away. They're still green. So yeah, I'm just gonna pick some apples, then I'll get back to you. Just give me a sec. Okay, so that's the apples done. These are mainly the Royal Galas. They tend to come in the earliest out of the three. So they're Royal Gala, different sizes, but extremely tasty and crisp and sweet. Very, very nice apples actually. And I literally do nothing to them, apart from covering them with organza bag to protect them against, the fruit fly and the parrots, because they love these things, and they don't actually wait until they're ripe. They like to eat them when, just to rub it in, They just sit there on top of the tree, they look at me, they eye me out, and they just munch on the premature apples like these ones, and then they're like, oh, what are you gonna do, eh? What are you so you have to bag them. If you want to eat some apples, you have to bag your apples basically. And that's the only thing. I don't even water this thing. This part of the garden doesn't have any irrigation, so I've got irrigation right through this side, where all the citrus and the pomegranates and the figs and so on, and along the side fence there. But this patch here does not have any irrigation, not yet. Actually, I had some requests from some viewers about how to build the irrigation system video. So I might do that with this bed here and make a video out of it. I suppose it'll help some people out, and I'll show them the way that I do it. But yeah, basically, as I was saying, this does not have any irrigation in it, so I don't water it basically. I don't water this area at all. So you got the loquat there. There's a citrus, a chili plant, and a three-way apple, Greek basil, and there's another chili and strawberry all under the apple there as ground cover, which are highly productive actually, but they're out of season now. Do not water them. The only thing that I do to is mulch heavily, and that's it. The only water they get is from the rain. And mashallah, they're doing great. I mean, obviously, if I looked after and I water, then I'll get a lot more. But I've got other things to do in the garden, and apples sort of, take a, let's just say they're at the back of the line in terms of priority on my priority list in the garden. Even though I love apples, but it's an apple, right? Like you can get good apples from the supermarket, I suppose. But they're nice, they're beautiful off the tree. They are good off the tree. So I might do the irrigation, and maybe it'll just be a lot more, even though it's still productive now. But obviously, if I do run irrigation and just give it a bit of love and care, it'll respond a lot better for me, or it'll fruit a lot better. Okay, the pomelos and the citrus aren't ready. I don't think he would want any Carolina Reapers, but you never know. I don't know. I might throw in some eggplants maybe. We'll see. Anyway, let's go to the front and grab some mangoes. Just bear with me. I wish I was an octopus. We can, with one hand, pick in and opening gates and so on is not that simple. All right, so okay, we'll come back to that. I noticed that I missed a bunch of grapes, so he's in luck. I was walking through the driveway and I spotted it. The only reason I spotted it is because again the end of the season sort of and a lot of the leaves have started to drop on the grapevine, and then it exposed a bunch of grapes that were missed. So he's in luck. It's got his name on it. It'll be going to them. Okay. The Tibble China, or Tibucina, is probably the more correct way to pronounce it. The Tibucina tree is in full bloom at the moment. I would say it's at 80% capacity right now, and it looks absolutely stunning, mashallah. It's just a stunner of a tree. It basically blooms every autumn, right through autumn, and carries into winter. Not so sort of as dense and as full in winter. It's patchy in winter, but the main show is in autumn, or fall, basically this time of the year. This is when you get the main show. Let me just walk around. I'll show you this angle. It's just beautiful, mashallah. Look at it. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous, tabarakallah. It's a showpiece, basically. Look at it. It really, really stands out. So the name of this tree is Tibu China, guys. So T-I-B-O-U. China is basically China. It's spelled the same way. That's why sometimes I pronounce it as Tibu China, because it is spelled exactly the same way as China, C-H-I-N-A. So Tibu China is the way you pronounce it, but it's spelled like China, basically. So yeah, if you want to look it up, and if you can grow it, and if you're into sort of ornamental trees, then this is definitely a winner. One to get. It can't be missed. Okay, let's grab a mango. Again, the video is dragging on. I know some of you guys do like them. Oh, there you go. There you go. Subhanallah, there you go. I knew I was coming. There you go. It's one of the mangoes that I missed. Oh, okay, there was two there that I didn't bag. I saw them yesterday, I think, and I was supposed to bag them, but I did not bag them. And then it must have just dropped on the floor, because basically this is the time they start dropping. The mangoes, they're just that's the end of the season. This is when they ripen on the tree, and usually when I do have it bagged with a peg, like a clothes hanging peg, the fruit will abort, but the bag will catch it, so it doesn't drop on the floor. But this, luckily, it landed on some ground covers, and it cushioned the fall, so that there's no damage at all. It's still very, very in good shape, actually. Really good shape. Yeah, I was coming for this one, actually, that one there, but I might pick it tomorrow. Actually, I'll leave it tomorrow. I'll just take this one. That's it. It done the job for me. Okay, let's move out of here. Okay, that's the mango there. So a couple of pomegranates, mango, apples. Who needs a supermarket, eh? No, alhamdulillah. Not only is it a satisfying thing to have your own garden or your own fruits, it's very rewarding as well. It is very rewarding, and like I said, I don't know if I mentioned it before, I have mentioned it actually before, I enjoy other people eating my produce before me. It actually gives me joy to see other people enjoying it, so I get satisfaction out of it. So I do my best to give them some good fruits to enjoy. That's another angle of the Tibucina. Oh, the helicopters are out. Yeah, I think there's an army base nearby, not too far from here, and they usually do sort of practice rounds with the helicopters as a training sort of sessions around the area. Anyway, that's yep, another angle. It's a shame to come here and without sort of showing off the Tibucina. It looks absolutely amazing, especially up against this silver Australian native. Subhanallah, it's beautiful. Yeah, I look forward to every autumn actually, just to see this thing in bloom every fall. Usually, you know, fall is known for dropping leaves, but this thing just puts up an amazing show instead of dropping its leaves. It's evergreen, so that's another bonus actually. It's an evergreen tree, and it blooms heavily in autumn, in fall, and it carries to some extent into winter. And yeah, it's again Tibucina, guys, if someone's interested. And you have a bit of space in your garden. There's a few different varieties. Actually, this is the giant. This is probably the biggest one, the old school one, the original one, the big sort of normal size. But they have bred them to dwarf sizes these days. So you can get them in dwarfs, much smaller, a couple of meters, you know, high. You know, 6, 7, 8 foot high. Compared to this one, it's probably 15, 20 feet high. It's huge, but I've got the space, so yeah, the bigger the better, I'll say. Anyway, let's go get that bunch of grape. Oh, it's becoming a bit heavy now. Okay, let's go get the grape. Alright, you can rest on the car. Try not to scratch it. There you go. Alright, where is it? Okay, there it is. So like I said, he's in luck because this is the last bunch of the season. Literally the last bunch of the season. And again, we missed it because the dense foliage before, but now because now the leaves are dropping, the foliage is sort of starting to drop. It exposed it. It exposed it. There it is. Actually, it's two mini ones. There's one there and one there. Okay, let me just snap it off 1 sec. I'll get my pruners. Okay, and there it is, guys. So this variety is Crimson Seedless. Very nice, very crisp, sweet, excellent variety. Just not excellent in our climate. That's all. So it might be on the chopping block, but that's another video for another day. All right, let me go back right now. Okay, fig, of course, the fig's turn. All right, give me a sec. All right, I grabbed another mango for him. That makes 2 mangoes now and 2 pomegranates, a whole bunch of apples, a couple of bunches of grapes, and a ton of Bourjassotte Noire figs because they're coming in hard now. So let's go hunt down some Bourjassotte Noire figs. So this is my last fig standing in terms of vigor and health. It's still going hard. Doesn't seem to be affected much by the weather. So let me just try and get in there. Yeah, there's one there. Okay, so there's one there. I'll open them up in a sec. I just want to pick them. There's a whole bunch of them to pick. Yeah, and that excellent late season fig. Excellent tasting, one of the best, if not the best. There's another one there. Another one. Yep, another one there. And holds excellent to the weather. Does really well in humid conditions and just loves moisture. Doesn't split. Like I said, excellent tasting. Highly productive. You can see every node has a fig. Absolutely loaded. There's figs ripening everywhere. There's another one there. Okay. Yeah, this could have used that day, but there you see the I don't know if you can see the skies, but they're looking very grey and they're predicting some rain next couple of days. So I do want to get as much figs off as I can before. Oh yeah, that's really ripe. Got a nice cracking on them. Excellent variety. Let me just put it there. Where else? There's some on top. Alright, I'm going to let you guys go for a sec because I can really use the other hand now to pick some figs. And I'll see you guys back in a sec. Okay, and that's the Bourjassotte Noire done, guys. And it's really looking like a masterpiece right now. Michelangelo, eat your heart out. Let's see you produce this. Funny enough, actually, that mate of mine, that friend of mine, is a workmate. He's actually French. He's French, and so I thought it would be perfect to gift him some French figs, Bourjassotte Noire. He's actually, yeah, there you go. So he's French. He's and he's didn't know much about, just because you're French doesn't mean you know everything about figs, obviously, right? Like, he knew basic things, but yeah, he didn't know the varieties and things like that. So I suppose not everyone is a collector or enthusiast. You can't expect everyone to know everything about, their local fruits or anything like that. So that goes to anyone, I suppose. Okay, so let's see if I can hold it. And obviously I can't walk around with it like this, but I might just leave it on the floor. I might check the Celeste Unknown to see if there's any ripe Celeste Unknowns. I might drop some. Again, the citrus is not ready. It's still too early for citrus. Oof, they're really not that light to carry, that's for sure. Alright, so let me leave it right here on the wheelbarrow and hunt down some Celeste Unknowns. Okay, not this one's a little bit hard still. We're done with the pomegranates for now. Yep, that's good. Let me just take this off. Okay. Yeah, sorry about the camera angles if they're really bad or anything like that, but you gotta understand I'm trying to juggle everything with one hand here, so you'd have to excuse me if my camera skills are not up to scratch. Now this could use a bit more. I think I spotted some earlier. Oh, there they are. Yes, these ones. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's definitely good to go. That's good to go there. These can use a bit more time. Okay, let me put them, I'll be back. And that's the Celeste Unknowns. Done and dusted. Alright. What's next? Calderonas. The Calderonas. I'm not sure if there's... I think they need a bit more time. Oh yeah, this one's good. Oh, this one's really good. It's got the honey. You can see the honey coming out of the eye. Again, they're notorious for dripping honey, the Calderonas. Let me put it here, I'll come back to it later. Yeah, Calderonas. Panache, maybe. No, I don't think there's any ripe Panache. No, it doesn't look like there's any ripe Panache. They tend to be late ripening figs as well, for at least for me here anyway. Yeah, in Sydney, the Panache. They are actually, there's one there that's split. Okay, that's not bad. It started to split, but it's still good. Yep. Okay, I'll put that in there. I'll put that in here. Alright, so basically now, look, I'm just going to let you guys go for a sec. I'm just going to go ahead, just pick all the figs and put them back because it's dragging on a bit. Alright, and that's all the harvesting done, guys. So I picked a few more white Adriatics. As you can see, the only thing that's splitting is the Panache. Seems to be sensitive to water. But other than that, not many figs are splitting actually. They're all doing just fine against the weather. You can see the drop of honey on the Calderona. And just trying to focus there. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of our journey for today. It looks spectacular, mashallah. Basically the purpose of today's video is if I can inspire one person, just one person, to plant a fruit tree, even if it's only one, even if it's in a pot, then for me it's mission accomplished. Like I said, I get satisfaction by other people's joys, and yeah, so that's basically one of the main reasons for doing today's video. So you can see there's a couple of Australian Kensington Pride mangoes. Without being biased, they're one of the best I've had so far. Obviously I haven't had a great deal of mangoes. I've had the Kensington Pride, some of the Thai mangoes. We tend to have after the local varieties. Thai is probably the most popular variety of mangoes here in Australia. Dok Mai and King Thai and Chinook and so on. So Kensington Pride, the Australian mango. There's the R2E2, also the Australian mango. It's a massive mango, but not as good tasting as the Kensington Pride or the Bowen mango. It goes by a few names, or even the Bamboo mango. It's all the same variety. It's a Kensington Pride by a few other different names. It's an excellent variety. So a couple of Australian Kensington Prides. Azerbaijan pomegranate, Lebanese pomegranate, some grapes, a bunch of apples, and a swarm of figs. And that's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give us a like, share and subscribe. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.